tonight we're going to have a call, but I wanted to share a couple tidbits of news. So we are going to do a little bit of transitioning with the team call and see how it goes. We're going to, for the first and the third Tuesday of the month, we're going to have a team call. And then on the first and third, okay, on the second, what we're going to do is we're going to do a live power hour with whoever wants to join, so it doesn't take so much of your time, if you will, and it gives you a chance to be with some of us who are really comfortable talking to people, conversing with them, like handling objections, handling a great way to invite them, or transitioning from, chatting into how do I invite them? Like, what do I do? We have a lot of training on that, but sometimes if you're like me, it takes a lot of info to let it sink in. For whatever reason, sometimes things just don't sink in for me really fast. So we are going to do that with you. I posted a new team calendar. I had our Star Diamond Sprint group had a really cool call today, and I shared it because she was sharing how when she actually follows her calendar, even though behind the scenes it's one group, it's one coach training group, the calendar really helps the followers and the people, everybody's watching her, like, feel like, okay, I know a coach apprenticeship group is coming. I know her fitness groups are going to be opening up again soon. And it's more to keep your mind at ease. So the calendar, how it works is the first 2 weeks of the month, you're promoting for a fitness group. And the last 2 weeks, you're promoting for coaches. So then you're not all over the place, like going crazy. But behind the scenes, if you're following up with people, you're, because you've sent messages, and some people decide to become coaches at any random day. Like myself, took me 8 months to decide, and then I just one day decided. So anyways, there's a new calendar to kind of show you that. And then the fourth Tuesday on the calendar, we will do a business opportunity meeting for you guys. So we'll have 2 calls a month, and then we'll do a power hour, and then the business opportunity meeting. And I'm sure we'll squeeze in some live backstage pass business opportunities. And what's the other thing we do? We probably will have some more daytime power hours too. We're going to move this to daytime. So if you have a lunch hour, you can just jump on for lunch hour. It's for the sake of all of you who are sacrificing your family right now to be on this call, and being able to just be with your family at night and just kind of see how that shift works. I know a lot of the top coaches are doing that right now, and it's working really well. So I'm going to shift that. Probably we'll go next week. We'll have the power hour next Tuesday. So that'll be at 10 a.m. my time, 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 Central, and that's noon for East Coast people. So that will give you a chance. We'll be live. We'll be together. It's a great time. Tuesday's a great day to be out there inviting people. It's fresh off of a weekend, and I understand there's a holiday next Monday. Not that that has anything to do with food, but still, it'll be a good day to be doing a power hour. Now, we are in a Team Cup month, so hopefully you guys are focused on Success Club. The calendar that I keep going back to, if you watch that other video, actually has helped these people on this other coach's team to always hit Success Club. Just because she was explaining it as in a way of commercials. You know how you always watch, if you watch TV and you see that same commercial over and over, and you know what's coming and you know what they're going to say. It's kind of like the same idea with your Facebook. Like, you are a TV show, if you will. You're like a reality show, and you're putting your show on every day. You're showing up and like, hey, we're in the hospital now, or whatever's going on in your life. Like, final day of my fitness program, or you're sharing, story sharing your life. Anyways, that's a different video. Posted it onto the calendar. Check it out. It's a great way to attract in people because they're going to start to follow, like, okay, she shows up every day. He shows up every day. I want to work with this person. You get the point. Okay, so moving forward into Tuesdays, we're going to switch things up just a little bit. I think it'll be good. I think you guys will like the, idea of the power hour together, make you feel more confident in your invites, and moving forward in your business with Success Club and building to diamond and beyond, if that is a goal of yours. And we have social media class going on right now. I hope it's helpful. I'm just pulling, and I'm doing we did an invite class, and then Ashton's doing an emerald training right now. So we're just doing some very basic trainings to just help you guys, newer coaches, understand, like, why emerald? Why do I want to be this emerald thing? What's so important about it? And right now at this time of year, Emerald and Success Club is such an awesome goal. The customers that Beachbody gives us is insane. The orders are insane. I'm sure anyone who's hit Success Club that's an Emerald and Beyond can agree. I've got like 8 free customers, probably more, ordering different products. I had 2 order challenge packs last month, all because I hit Success Club in December, and I'm Beyond Emerald. So those are big reasons why we are doing little things to help you guys succeed. So I hope you're kind of paying attention to just put it in a time slot, 30 minutes. I'm going to check this out, see what's going on, 15 minutes, and then I'm going to go on with my day and just stay focused on that stuff. So I think that's it. All of you guys who earned Success Club last month, Jen Sincero's call is Thursday at like 5 p.m. Pacific, I think. So that's going to be awesome. If you love that You Are a Badass book, you will be hearing her live, which is super exciting. I think that's it for news. I'm trying to think if there's anything else big going on. But I think that's it for news for now. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn the time over to Natalie. So Natalie is a 1-star diamond coach, and she is doing awesome. She signed up like 2 years ago. Her kids and my kids, they're 4 days apart, which is crazy. That's how attraction marketing works. Like, I did something where I connected with her and I attracted her into the business, which she'll probably tell you a little bit about, like, what made her decide to become a coach. Like, what did I do that made her decide to become a coach? And she was Emerald and then bounced to Diamond and then right on to 1-star Diamond. So she has a lot of amazing coaches on her team. She has a great team. And I wanted her to share, like, she's a mom of twins. She's got a foster baby as well. How is she doing this? Like, what is she doing? So if you guys have questions, put them in the chat. And then Natalie will hit the questions after you're done sharing your tips. And so don't worry about them right now. We'll get to them and figure out, like, she's a stay-at-home mom. She was a teacher. So I'm going to let her share her story with you guys, and I will shush. Let me just unmute you. Give me 1 second. Natalie, unmute. Okay, go for it.
All right. Thank you, Lindsay. So yeah, Lindsay is my upline. And just so you guys know how I got into this, I was at home with my young twins because February is 2 years for me, and so then my kids were like just 1 year old. And Lindsay was going on all these trips. I think she was going on a cruise to Mexico, plus just like the team retreats and the new leader retreats and all that stuff. And I was like at home, which I love to be at home. I choose to be at home with my kids. But I was like, I want to be at home and go on vacation. And she always made it sound so awesome. And after she talked to me for a while, I was literally like, okay, so how can I go on vacation? And that's how I ended up signing up. And it took her a really long time to convince me that this wasn't a pyramid scheme or some scam or whatnot. It also helped from my perspective. I still had weight to lose from my pregnancy. So it was kind of like a win-win because the 21-day fix had just launched. And like that was the game changer for me. Before 21-day fix and before Beachbody, I did CrossFit. I've always been really fit. I danced professionally for several years. So I kind of didn't know why I wasn't losing the weight, just doing what I normally did. I was running 3 or 4 times a week, and I was doing CrossFit 3 to 4 times a week and eating healthy foods already. But 21 Day Fix showed me that my portions were off. Basically, I wasn't eating enough. So that's kind of how like I got into this and everything. And I gave it 6 months. That was what I had to invest into Beachbody, was 6 months worth of Shakeology. And my first year, I didn't really make any money, but I wasn't really trying, honestly, to make a lot of money. But I didn't spend any money either, like with me and my husband drinking Shakeology. And like, to me, that's awesome. So even though like I wanted to go on vacation, I also wasn't like gung-ho my first year either. I was just kind of content getting to drink Shakeology and working out and meeting great people. So it kind of took a while for me to figure out that like to build, and that's where I'm at now, is building. I have to build and be there. So I think it was kind of a hard transition because I kind of thought like, oh, I'll just get all these people, all these twin moms, and they're just going to do it because I'm doing it. And it's not necessarily as simple as that, but it is as simple as that at the same time. So over the past 2 years, I feel like I've really learned a lot. And I don't even feel like any of this is like something that I discovered or made up. I do think this is following the leaders on this team and on other teams. And actually one of the people I talk to the most, a girlfriend here who's also a twin mom, she sells Unique. So like her and I are not competitors, and we talk all the time because we're both moms building a business. And there's things that she's implemented from me and that I've implemented from her. So my best tips for balancing a family, and I guess this would go for a job too, and I know when I talk personally with my coaches, we kind of talk about each person's situation, and I really think it comes down to finding what works best for you. But my number one thing of all things is if you have a question, ask somebody. If you can't find it on Google, if your upline isn't responding quick enough, if your success partner isn't, ask somebody and don't just wait around, because you never want to say like, oh, I would have hit Success Club, but Lindsay didn't respond to me in time, so that person's gone now. So find the answers to any questions that you have, because the answers are out there. And hey, I'm a source, and I have people honestly from Smash that private message me that I don't really feel like I know, but I'm going to answer your question if you ask me. So you can add me to your private messenger if you have a question. So ask questions. For me, I work at really certain times of the day, and I prioritize making sure that I do get those posts. It is super important that you're posting the 5 to 8 times a day, because just the way Facebook works, if you're not posting, you're not being seen. So you can come up with this great post that you spent 3 hours working on all the lingo and you have the perfect photo, but if it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon and you haven't posted anything else that day, you're probably not getting much visibility. So it doesn't matter how awesome your post was. So post something. So for me, my kids wake me up in the morning. Not even going to pretend that I get up before them or with an alarm. My kids come in my room every morning, and they know my feet don't hit the floor until I've posted. And I do it from my phone in my bed, and they love it. And so what I've really been working on is training my 3-year-old and my 2-year-old that mommy has to make a post. I have to work. And so they love to push the post button on the top right corner of Facebook, and they'll say, Mommy, post, Mommy, post. So I post first thing in the morning. The second thing I do every day is probably the first thing you do when you get out of bed too. I go pee. And when I go pee, I say happy birthday to everybody on my Facebook every morning, because that's something that someone I may not have talked to in 3 years, I say happy birthday, they're going to be like, oh, thanks, Natalie. And now I'm in their newsfeed and they're seeing me. So that's just a super simple tip for me to feel like if I go downstairs and my kids throw oatmeal everywhere and then someone has explosive diarrhea and I don't get back to my phone for 2 hours, at least I've made a post in the morning and I have some engagement because I've talked to a few people. And so the whole like mommy needs to make a post is what I've really started saying to my kids, because I am a mom first. And there are probably times that I could do more work in the day, but that's not what I want to do. I want to sit on the floor and build towers with my kids and read books and make lunch take 2 hours to make because I'm going to let them measure all my ingredients. So I just get those times and say, Mommy's making a post, because I don't want them to feel like I'm on my phone all day, or that I'm ignoring them. So they know that when I say Mommy's making a post, that it's going to take maybe 3 minutes out of the day if I still need to think about what I have to say. But then they know that that's done and my attention's off and back to them. And that was something that somebody else told me. Why can't, because I used to say, I can't work. My kids won't let me work. Oh, they're driving me crazy. They won't let me work. And someone said, why don't you just teach them? Like, it's just like meal time and nap time. So if you've got kids at home, just teach them. This is Mommy's time to work. I need to make a post. And then I work the most at night. When my kids go to bed, that's when I'm on. That's when I do my coach calls. That's when I really sit and do all of my follow-ups, and it works for me because I don't get up until my kids get up between 7:30 and 8. I can stay up until 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm still getting 6-7 hours of sleep like the average person. So that's where I found in my day is the easiest time to give up. I get to eat dinner with my family. I spend dinner time with my family. I put my kids to bed with my husband. I do baths. I do all of that stuff. And then when I sit down and work, I don't feel like I'm pulling myself from something else. I feel like I can be here. I can be dedicated to my challengers, to my coaches, to my prospects. And that works for me. I know for like a large majority of people, the morning time works better. So you just got to figure out what type of person you are. Are you the person that will stay up and work? Or are you the person that's going to get distracted watching Grey's Anatomy, and now you're checking some emails and you're just getting ready for the next day and you're not actually working? Or are you the person that could just do it in the morning? You can get up a couple hours before your kids get up and get it done. I just work better at night. I have been really big into using, assistive technology and things that are available to me to make my job easier and to make me what I consider a better mom. Because if I'm on my phone all day, then I don't feel like I'm a good mom. And I don't want to go to bed any night feeling like I wasn't a good mom. So Buffer, I really love Buffer. That's how I run most of my challenge groups. And it doesn't mean that my posts are just like the same month after month or group after group, but at least it's there and it's like my fallback kind of. And sometimes I go in and change my buffer before it posts. But it's a really good tool if you haven't looked into it. I think in the free version, you can only have one group. So if you're just running one challenge group, you can get away with the free version. But on the paid version, you can have a lot of groups. So I can have content going to my team page, my personal page, my like page, my 21-day fix challenge group, my people that have already done challenge groups that aren't really wanting to be in a group, but I don't want to lose track of them. So I can sit and do content. Like on Sunday, usually I sit and I write out content. And then it's kind of saved there. And then I'm not having to worry about it throughout the day since I don't want to be like stuck to my computer all the time. So my goal this year is to make at least a teacher salary because I was a teacher before I had kids. And I guess for me, that would make me feel like I've like really made it as a coach because I only have 2 more years until my kids would be going back to school. So logically, it would say that's when I need to go back to work because I don't have kids at home. And I don't really want to do that. So making a teacher salary is where I'm sitting in January. I'm on target for that. And I just think that's really awesome that you could do something like that and be at home all day with your kids. And so to give me a little bit more time and to get me there because as you grow, you do need more time because when I first started, when I was like an Emerald, I was just like trying to find a few people each month to get a challenge pack and get Success Club and then following up with them. But now I talk with my coaches and I need to provide content for them and help training. And with recruiting, that takes a lot more time. So I've been kind of outsourcing some of the things that I don't like to do. And for me, that's huge because something that I don't like to do, I'm not very efficient at generally. So it often ends up being a time waste. Like when you have no idea what you want to say on Facebook, so you start scrolling and just reading other people's stuff because you don't really know what you're doing. Well, that's like me in laundry, right? Because I don't want to do my laundry. So I like fold 2 or 3 shirts and then I'm like, what am I going to make for dinner? And I go look in the fridge and I just don't do it. So I made a pact with myself. If I could make X amount of money for 4 months in a row, then I would feel like I had some like extra money to spend that I wasn't putting back into my household, that I get a housekeeper. So I have a housekeeper now. And what that means is that at night, right now when I'm working, I'm not thinking about, oh my God, but I didn't finish the laundry and the dishwasher really still needs to be unloaded and the microwave could really use to be scrubbed. And that distracts me from work. So now I know like, hey, you know what? I have a housekeeper coming. I suck at cleaning. I hate cleaning. And I don't have to do it anymore. And that works for me. So I'm just going to give you a couple examples of things that I've been outsourcing that I feel like have made me a better coach and a better mom and have made my husband happier because our house is cleaner and I'm not asking him to pitch in as much anymore because I'm like, hey, don't worry about that. The housekeeper's coming tomorrow. And we pay her for a certain amount of time and she does it. Because I am at home and because I am trying to get through some trainings like the Jesse Reagan training and I have some other goals of just learning more technology. Staying at home, I feel like I've really gotten behind on technology. I was a high school teacher, so I was really on top of everything, or at least my students could teach me and show me. So like I'm trying to master like one platform each quarter of the year. So like I'm focusing on YouTube right now. And because of that, I feel like I need a little more dedicated time than the time I spend in the evenings. So I have a babysitter who comes and she comes to my house. So I don't have to take my kids anywhere. I don't have to get out of my pajamas. And she comes and she takes over my kids and she makes their breakfast and their lunch and puts them down for a nap. And I get to work during that time. And that's a really focused time for me. Plus, if you have kids, you know, running errands isn't the easiest too. So when I have to mail out my coach gifts and my challenge winner gifts, like I do that on Thursdays when my babysitter comes. And I feel like it's been a really, really good use of my money. And if you're like, I don't want to pay a babysitter and every babysitter I know charges $25 an hour, I put my expectations out in my ad, and how I found my babysitter is in a local group. I live in Fort Wayne. It's called Fort Wayne Moms. And I wrote an ad and I said, I'm looking for someone to come to my house, take care of my 3 kids, feed them breakfast, lunch, play with them, not watch TV. You can have a kid. You can bring your kid with you. And I will pay you $60 from 8:30 to 4:30. And I got 9 responses for $60 from 8:30 to 4:30. And I just started interviewing people. And the lady that I ended up going with, she brings her daughter with her and she's all like, this is the easiest money ever. I get paid to hang out with my daughter and your kids. And I'm like, yeah. And it works for me because per hour, it's not that expensive. And I'm being able to get things done. And she can make my kids nap. I can't, but she makes the nap every single time. And then she like folds my laundry while they're napping because all 4 kids are asleep. And so that's another load of laundry a week I don't have to do. So I love it. But if you're thinking like there's no way I could pay someone, maybe that many hours isn't in the books for you, or maybe your kids always nap. You could just have someone come in that morning time that you come in. And that's when I shut my office door. She doesn't come talk to me. I also do feel like if you're like, that's not a lot of money, I feel like I can pay her less because I'm home and I'm here. And if there was a problem, you know, I'm here. And she brings her daughter with her. So a housekeeper and a babysitter. I also recently started using an assistant to help me with some of the tasks that take up a lot of time for me that are important for my business, but maybe aren't the best use of my personal time while I'm still trying to learn and grow and to get through some trainings myself. So So it's really something you might look into. She does like my success club pictures that say how many points my coaches have, follows up with new leads for me. I even did the Super Bowl contest a lot of you guys did with the Shakeology packets, and then you said stop, and that person's the winner. And then I just tagged her in the post, and I was like, can you send everyone on here like, hey, Natalie, thanks so much for commenting on my Super Bowl post. What are your current health and fitness goals? And she did that for me because I was traveling. So then when I got off the plane and I got home last night, I had like 14 responses. And that was something I couldn't get to in the middle of the day because I was traveling. So those are just little things that you can have somebody else help you with, that will, I believe, give you a good return on your investment of the time and money that you would put into something like that. And let's see. And I think all these things have helped keep me focused because my mind wanders and I worry about the dishes and the laundry and the kids' toys that can be reorganized and that Success Club post that I haven't done yet and the person that I didn't follow up with from a week and a half ago because I just feel like I've been too busy. So knowing that I've got a little bit of help between buffer and between having some dedicated time where it doesn't matter if my kids are in an awesome mood or a bad mood, I have somebody else that's going to watch them and give me that dedicated time for working and for myself. And I get overwhelmed and I feel like, oh my gosh, just how many groups are running in Smash right now? I mean, like there's an Emerald, there's like a Star Diamond Sprint, there's a social media group, like all of that overwhelms me. And I'm like, I can't do all of this. And then I tend to shut down. So having it in a schedule where I know what's going to happen really, really helps me. And speaking of that, in front of me, you can't see, but that's like my inspirational wall. That's where I keep up with my coaches, how many people I have, and it has my to-do list. So I see it. It's directly in front of my computer every time I sit down. I know what I'm supposed to be doing. So if I catch myself scrolling on Facebook, I can look up and be like, all right, get focused. You're here to work and you're here to help people. You're here to grow coaches. You're here to grow a business. You're here to, I mean, like Lindsay says, create your dream life. But it is so true. And even at just a 1-star and only being here 2 years, like you guys, like I can feel it. I can see it. Like I know what this year is going to do. But it's only going to do it if I do what I need to do and if I stay consistent. So some of these things help me. And then same thing with like not getting overwhelmed. I have my calendar written out so I can check things off as I go. Like the first thing I do is like my 5 ads, excuse me, and reconnecting with people. Like I do it and I cross it off every day. And at first I was like, this is silly. I'm not going to write this down every single day. I'm just going to know to do it. But you don't when you don't write it down, or at least I don't. So I am not someone who puts up these huge Success Club numbers every month. I think my highest month's only been like 14 points, which isn't super high, but I can tell you that I do work towards challenge pack sales all month. But in the past, I've always been like a little nervous of like, well, what if I don't have anyone for next month? So like the last week of the month, when I've already hit Success Club, I kind of like fizzle off on those people. And then like come the first, I like pounce back on them like, hey, you said you were interested and let's get going. But if you're always talking to people about challenge packs, there's always going to be someone who's going to be ready, because we all know people are not ready often the first time we talk to them, or the first time they comment on a post, or the first time they hear it. I can't tell you how many people that will message me, and maybe it's been 2 or 3 weeks, and I'll scroll back up, and I've sent them the 21-day fix video, the price, and everything comes in challenge pack at least 5 times. And they don't even have to talk to me. They could just scroll up and find it. But they want that connection, and they want to know that you're going to be there for them. So I work towards that all month long. Like, I don't ever think like, oh, I've got my 5 or my 10, and so I'm just going to like chill out, because even your friend that promises she's going to order tomorrow might fall through. So you don't want to rely on that. So I feel like when I am talking and sharing like the business and looking for challenge pack people, like I'm always talking it up as a challenge pack. I don't ever offer just a program. People have to ask me like, so well, I don't want Shakeology. Is there any other way to get this? Or they have to say something like, well, I saw it on the infomercial and it was only $60 or something. Otherwise, I don't offer them just a program because there is the 30-day bottom of the bag guarantee on Shakeology. And I don't know what your numbers are, but my honest numbers are I've had one person return Shakeology in 2 years. I've had some people exchange it, and I push exchanges. When they tell me they don't like their flavor, they don't think that they can drink it, I always tell them it's the way they're mixing it or it's their flavor. And I have people exchange, and that does not impact you as a coach at all. You don't lose commissions, you don't lose points or anything like that. So making sure your customers are happy. I have personally traded people. If they get like a combo box and they're like, I love vanilla and I hate chocolate, I'm like, how many do you have? Mail them to me and I will mail you back vanilla, just to keep them there. But I think it's easier to downsell than upsell. So if you always start with the challenge pack, it's easy to say, okay, well, you could just get that if that's really what you feel like you need to do. I talked about my to-do list and personal development. This is something that I really lacked in for a long time, until very recently, actually. And I just feel like I'm a happier person to everyone, not just like on Facebook, but to everyone, my friends that I see, my family I talk to on the phone, my husband at home, when I'm reading my personal development. I do feel like really empowered and very like, yeah, I can do this. Let's go. When I read PD and when I listen to it, or I watch a training, or I watch a YouTube video from another coach. And so I think that it's really about finding the PD that speaks to you. And I know I have someone, one of my personally sponsored coaches, for her, she was struggling with PD, and she told me when she found something that was more faith-based, she feels like she's really connected. So don't be afraid to ask other people, or don't feel like because everyone's reading Champagne Diet, you have to read Champagne Diet. If it does nothing for you, then find something else, but find something that can tell you basically like what you want to hear, what can boost you up. For me, it's fear. I don't know why I'm so afraid of people on Facebook, but I am, because I don't like to be told no. I don't like to be unfollowed. I don't like them to unfriend me. And that fear holds me back a lot. I mean, Lindsay can probably attest. I'll be like, I don't know why I'm so scared to make this post or this call to action, when there's nothing to be fearful about, because everything we're doing is helping someone else. And while we're getting a kickback from it, a commission from it, that doesn't negate the fact that we're helping them. If it's they're wanting to lose weight, if they're wanting to be healthier, or they're looking to build their own income, that's what we're here for. We're here to help them and to show them what this has done for us and how it can do it for them. The other last thing that I feel like just in the last month I've done that I feel like has maybe brought a little bit of new life to my team, maybe. I don't know who from my team is on, but I've been offering one-on-one calls with them, and we do it through Zoom, so I get to see their face, and it's just me and them. And so we really get to talk about what they are struggling with, or where they are having problems, or they want to ask me why they've noticed my Facebook has kind of changed and why I'm doing it that way. It gives them a chance to kind of pick my brain. So if you have coaches under you, I really suggest offering this time. And I don't chase them around or follow them and say, give me a one-on-one call, give me a one-on-one call. It's more like there for your benefit. I would really offer it to them. And if you feel like, well, I'm new and I need some help, tag your upline, talk to them, be like, can I have a call with you? Because we all know messages get lost sometimes in text and in our instant messenger and stuff. So if you feel like it's important enough to talk with them, then do it. I've had calls run an hour and 20 minutes, and I had someone I talked to for 15 minutes, and she's like, oh my God, thank you. That's all I needed. I just needed a little bit of time, kind of face to face. And I don't even feel like I told her anything, but she got to talk out everything she wanted to talk out. And then the next day she's like, boom, 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 and making sales. So don't be afraid to go. I feel like you just shouldn't be afraid to go up your upline to ask for something if you need. I think it goes back to asking questions when you have a question and not sitting by the wayside and letting it be like someone else's problem because you don't have the answers that you need. But all I can say is that this really is like the best thing ever. And it took a really long time for me to get my husband on board too. And that's something else that I know every relationship is different, but I really would try to include your spouse or your boyfriend or your significant other or whatever in at least some of this. Sometimes I'm like, will you just sit through the team call with me just so you can hear a little bit of like what my life is like, or why I do things the way I do, or why sometimes I need you to put the kids to bed by yourself. Because I think it changes the dynamic. And I don't know, at first my husband, and I wanted to quit several times. Let's put that out there too. There were several times that I was like, I just don't know anymore, because it got hard. It got hard because I couldn't find people for challenge packs, and I got behind on my challenge group, and then I had that one return, and I was going to let one return defeat me one time, and I could not imagine that now, because what I would be doing today if I quit is I would be back in a regular job, which isn't the worst thing in the world either. I absolutely love teaching. I have a master's degree in education, and I love kids, but I love my kids more. So being at home with my kids is what I want to do. And I promise you, had I quit, between me and my husband, I would say he would have forced me back into work, because I would be like, no, we'll just eat ramen noodles and I'll just stay home. And, nobody wants to do that. We don't want to give up like our general lifestyle. So ask for help, delegate if you can. Even if you're like, I only have $15 a week that I could spend on an assistant, if it's going to benefit you more in the long run, then do it. And it's really weird if you haven't talked on one of these, because it's super quiet. So I just feel like I've been talking to myself for the last 30 minutes. So I'm glad I can see lots of smiling faces.
Oh, this was awesome. Thank you for sharing. I just put a post up if you guys have any questions for Natalie, and I forgot to also mention tomorrow night I'm going to do a business opportunity call. So, and I actually have slides, you guys, where I like get a little bit more. I've heard this PowerPoint does a great job in helping people make a real solid decision. So we're going to test that out, because that's what this business is about. Trial and error. What works, what doesn't work. You got to just keep trying things out. You got to like always have that, maybe this is going to be the one thing that does it, or maybe I need to figure something else out, right? I loved how you said that you include the kids in your work. That's something that I thought about doing, is like, it's so funny because one of mine will come sit and like be like, this is how I work, like, and they kind of follow you. And it's really cool because when I worked with Leanne Ruff, who I forget her title, but she was at Beachbody in the corporate, and she was like, and she used to do what we do, like out in the field. And she had said the one thing that was so cool about saying mommy has to work and finding that balance is today all her kids have like great work ethic. They watched that, they respected it. And the other thing she did was she would say, hey, when I hit this goal, we're going to do whatever. And that would be like a success club goal. And that would get your kids kind of nagging you, if you will. I don't know if you want to be nagged, but it helps keep you accountable to growing your business. Like, oh, I'm at Success Club 4. I can't let this pass. Like, no, this is non-negotiable. I know this is what's going to get me to the next level. And you are like, it's very healthy for them, if you will. I know some people get a little nervous about that working with the kids thing. And that's why bringing in a outsourcing person, even if it's for 2 hours. I remember Shalene Johnson told us, Natalie and I went to, where did we go? We went to a marketing class with Shalene. And she had said in the class, I was $500,000 in debt. I was trying to build my business and I outsourced. I hired help. I looked just kind of like what Natalie did. Like I looked for somebody who I could afford, if you will, whatever my money was. And you have to look at that as you're creating an opportunity for someone else. Like my help with the kiddos here, we were able to move that help with us to Arizona when we moved from Chicago, because I wasn't willing to give it up. When you find a really good person for your kids, like you don't give that up. And it's family. It's also, well, she's marrying my brother, so that's a bonus. But it played a great role. It gives her an opportunity, gives her a job. She's even looking into the idea of maybe helping me if I want to homeschool. I don't know what I want to do yet. I'm just like thinking out ideas like do I want to go to preschool school? Do I not? Like, what do I want to do? And she's like open to the idea of getting, into that stuff and helping me. But they love her, and they love me, and it gives us a healthy balance. Like I don't go crazy with them, like twins and sometimes the toddlers, and you're like, sometimes. So I really like how you've done that, because even if it's 2 hours, guys, like it's a good thing for you, for the person you're creating the opportunity for your kiddos, for your business, which, and if I were to tell you what Natalie's income looks like, and what it looked like last year when I was getting notes and messages, this is not growing, this is not going anywhere. And then she'd turn around and be like, well, I haven't really put a lot of work into it. And then now to see where it's at is really and I don't know all the details, but when you're a diamond, you get these matching bonuses. So I can get an idea of what's going on, or I could ask her directly if I wanted to, if she wanted to share. But it's interesting to just see, because she stuck with it and stayed consistent, and she made some of these shifts in her life, where it's at today. It's like, whoa. And she is one of the highest earning, which is kind of cool to see. Well, and in my personally sponsored, I can't see what's going on below, beyond that, so much. But it's a question that you have to ask yourself, like, what can you do? The way I made a decision about getting a cleaning lady was one Saturday, Hal decided to clean the house. I'm like Natalie, like cleaning. I attracted her for a reason, like travel. There's a reason I attracted her, like attracts like. And I don't like to clean. I don't like to do, I'm just like her. Like dishes make me crazy. I want them done, but I don't want to do them. And I'll do them, like I do them, and I do my laundry and stuff, but I don't want to, but I do it. So a release or a relief, and a cool thing to think about, when Hal one day was like, I'm cleaning the house, it's Saturday, and I'm like with these twins, and I'm like, seriously, you're gonna be like, I want to go out of the house, I want to go do something with you guys, I'm home a lot. And he started at 10 a.m. and he didn't get done till 4 or 5 o'clock, because he did it by himself, and he went room to room to room to room, and he cleaned and he cleaned and he cleaned, and I'm like, awesome, there goes my whole day. You just cleaned. And I had Shalene tell me in the meeting, in the seminar, she was like, what could you have done with those 5 hours? Could you have been with your family doing building memories, or could you have been building your business? Like seriously. So when, and then Eric Worre said it again, I was listening to him talk about the recruit 20 and 30 day seminar video thing that he does. And he said, outsource as everything you possibly can that you are not good at. Outsource it. It will be worth it. It will make all the sense in the world for you, because the one thing you're good at, you need to focus on. So I let Hal listen to that, and Hal was like, okay, fine. And then at one point, I let the house just trash one time, and he was like, all right, that's it. Hire, whatever, do what you got to do. So, and I made a deal, and I was like, just like Natalie, I was like, I will earn what I need to earn to make this worth it. And we have a cleaning lady. She comes in and she gives her a job. She's awesome. My house is right now, it's clean minus some toys from the boys, but it is just so nice to lay down in my same situation. Laundry gets folded during nap time, and I can't get my kids a nap either, but their nanny can. And she comes in, sometimes she'll come in for bigger, depending on what's going on in the business. Sometimes I'll use her more, sometimes I'll use her less. Sometimes I'll use her at night. Like Hal travels a lot. Like he's leaving tomorrow and he'll be gone. So she's willing to, hang in there for me if I want to do the business opportunity, and she'll be here for an hour so I can do that and then go back to them. So anyways, those are things to really think about that, Natalie addressed. This is somebody who isn't in, I know you guys look at me and you're like, well, you make this big income, so of course you're going to do things like that. But this is somebody, and Shalene was somebody who was not bringing that kind of, she was $500,000 in debt. And that year that she decided to outsource and get help was the year she became a millionaire. Not to say, I was like, oh, I remember thinking that'll work. No, it doesn't work like that fast.
Right. And I'm going to say, you do the saying, you have to spend money to make money is so true. And the way I see it, in my Shakeology that I have to buy every month is really not the same as spending money to make money, because that's a consumable that I drink and enjoy every day. Mm-hmm. And so you have to, I could put more money on my student loans if I didn't have a housekeeper, and I could make a better impact on our debt if I didn't have a babysitter. But while those seem like big expenses to me right now, and they do seem like big expenses to me, I know that they're stepping stones to something much bigger. So $100 twice a month for a housekeeper, that's why I had to say, I had to prove to my husband that I was consistently making so much money above what we budget. I have a separate Beachbody account that my money gets deposited to, and then we withdraw from that every month into our home budget. And I had to make so much above that every month to prove to him and myself that when I hire this housekeeper, we're not going to start going further into debt. So that's why it's deciding what things you want. So sure, I would love anything to get on a plane tomorrow and go on a $5,000 Jamaican vacation. And right now, the housekeeper, much more important to me, and I can get more out of it. And so that's where I kind of see the spending money to make money, and that it's all justifiable in the long run. Even though we're a pretty average family, we could use that money towards debt, but it's kind of what I need. And my husband travels a lot too. And I'm you're not here with the kids, and you're not here. And his job gets prioritized above mine when he works late. So I feel it's not really too much to ask, from a marriage standpoint, for me to say, I want to spend some of this money to get these tasks done.
Yeah. So cool. I'm drawing a blank on what I wanted to say. I loved how you set the expectations in your ad. I was like, well, that's how you should do with your recruiting ads too. I was thinking you were here's what I need, here's what I'm going to pay. I know recruiting's a little bit of a different mm-hmm. of course, but it was just one of those things where if you guys set those kind of expectations in your recruiting and challenge group posts, here's what you're getting. This is it. It's a challenge pack, period. This is what you're getting. Where there is no other, we're not talking about anything else. And until they come at you and they're like, hey, I see this base kit, and you're like, well, you're going to miss out on, blah, 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 And I really loved hearing today, a coach who spoke earlier on a call, she said, one of the coolest things about this business is they get us. When you buy candles and you buy other stuff, they just buy the candles and they go on their way. They don't create groups for support where it's a community of friends and new people and relationships. They just buy candles or, I don't know, nail wraps or whatever. And it's nothing wrong with the companies. They're just different. And I think that's what makes us grow so fast and your longevity to really make this something that can eventually take you on that $5,000 vacation without any stress, because that will come. And then I love the one-on-ones. I go back and forth with that's the truth is sometimes I'm like, just come to me if you need me. And it's nice because sometimes people just want to be heard. They just want to be able to share some stuff, and that actually helps them take off and move their business forward. It's not me going after, like, I certainly have ways of leading and tracking. I'm a CEO of a business. Like it's like the guy at Kohl's, right? He's got to show up, look at his reports and see what's going on, and then be like, why is this going backwards? Or why is this, like, what am I missing here? What do I need to change? Where should I revamp? How do I evolve? Because you're going to have to evolve. Like right now I'm in evolve stage where I'm like, okay, I had a lot of goals last year. Like, what do I do this year? Like, what am I going to do? You know? And I can tell that I'm going through something of, it's a thing that you just have to keep evolving with. New programs always help when you're evolving, by the way. So like hammer and chisel helps with stuff like that. But I love that you're doing the one-on-ones because it is such a key piece to be able to say, look, I see something in you, and I know you can't see it right now because a lot of people can't. Like, I don't know if Natalie saw what I saw in her. I can't even tell you how many times I told her she'd be great at this, and she was like, I don't want that shake stuff. And she would be like, nope, I'm a picky eater. The shake stuff, I'm out. Every time we talk, there's still a girl that I talked to since I've talked to her that I'm like, any day, like, I'm waiting. It's been 2 years, and she goes back and forth. She's a huge Instagram following. She's big in fitness. And I'm just like, seriously, you could be crushing this. So like, I would just say, with the one-on-ones, it's good to be able to breathe life into your coaches. Your job is to breathe that belief into them, and you do it before, when you are inviting them to join your team. Like, you see it in them. You're like, you would crush this business. So anyways, those are just some things I noticed. It looks like you don't have any questions. It looks like you hit some great points, so that's awesome. Okay, well, thank you. I don't have anything else, and I don't want to waste any more of your time, you guys. We'll let you get back to your family. Thanks for sharing. I have this recorded, so we'll post it. And yeah, I hope you guys have an awesome week. And if anyone has anyone for tomorrow night, I will do a business opportunity call. All right. Have an awesome night, guys. Bye.
Bye.